Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and here we have a best of 3 series between Liquid TLO, the guy that I've been casting many games from because he is playing in a lot of great tournaments, including this PokerIdol.com tournament, which took place in January. His opponent today is going to be SeleCT from Dignitas Gaming. He's the red Terran up here in the top left of Delta Quadrant, so we do have yet another TVT series. This is a best of 3 being played for the PokerIdol.com semifinals. The winner of the entire tournament will receive 1,500 euros, so these guys are playing for quite a bit of money. Obviously, they don't want to get eliminated in these semifinals, but I do have to tell you, this is a double elimination tournament, so even if one of these players does get dropped down into the loser's bracket, they will still have a chance to make it to the finals and eventually win the whole thing. So we'll see what happens here between SeleCT, Red Terran from Dignitas Gaming, and TLO, Blue Terran from Team Liquid. TLO has been playing random as his main race, so to speak, recently, but for this tournament he decided that he was going to race pick Terran whenever he had a Terran opponent, and it just so happens that he's had 3 Terran opponents in a row with Mers, also from Dignitas Gaming, Goody from ESC Gaming, and now SeleCT. So TLO having to show off his TVT skills against 3 very good European and North American Terrans. SeleCT, I say he's North American because he's actually living in the United States, but he is actually originally from South Korea, so he's got a bit of gaming skill in his genes, you might say, but SeleCT has shown us that he's an incredibly strong player. He got second place at MLG DC last fall and has been performing well in all kinds of other events since then, including the TL Opens, and TLO has actually had some success in the TL Opens as well. He actually got to the finals of one not too long ago against White Raw, and I cast those games as well. If you want to look those up, just look for TLO versus White Raw on my channel. But this is a brand new series. It's SeleCT versus TLO, and I haven't really been commenting on their build orders so far because they have been exactly mirrored up here in the production tab until just now. While TLO is getting a tech lab up on his first barracks, SeleCT is just going to build another supply depot. Has not gotten a factory or anything yet, no add-on just yet. Both players are scouting around the map. Here's SeleCT's SAV finding out that TLO is not in that bottom right spawn and is instead going to be in the bottom left spawn. TLO is getting a Reaper out quite quickly from that tech lab barracks, while SeleCT is going to get a factory up, so it looks like he is on his way to the 111 build. Still no add-ons though, so I don't think we're going to see any Reactor to Hellions or Reactor to Marines. Probably going to be a lot of tech lab action. Usually, since the reactor takes so long to build, you usually see one building by now, but once this factory gets completed, it could start a tech lab or a reactor, and we'll see more clearly what SeleCT has planned. So SeleCT is going to send out these first 3 Marines. I didn't realize how much blood squirted out of those SCVs when taking fire from Marines. Apparently they are quite juicy, but for being guys in robot suits, that thing certainly squirted a lot of blood. But TLO has his first Reaper out now. He had a Marine there at the Zelnaga Tower just spotting for his Reaper. Now he's going to hop up these cliffs into the back of SeleCT's main. If you look at that production tab, you'll see a starport has begun building for SeleCT, and he's got a reactor coming on. Probably it is on the barracks since a Hellion is building from the factory. But TLO, on the other hand, getting a starport up now as well. What is he going to be able to do here with this Reaper? SeleCT does have a Hellion and several Marines here to try and defend against this. The Reaper is up to 2 kills before exploding, so SeleCT not really too far behind there. No big deal, honestly. He was able to defend that quite easily, and he did kill off one of TLO's scouting SCVs anyway, so TLO, as you can see, only up by 1 SCV at the moment. We've got a little bit of a switcheroo going on here. The barracks is now on the reactor. The starport is now on the tech lab. Is getting cloak research immediately. Back to the production tab so I don't miss anything. But TLO is getting a Banshee out already without cloak. So going to be seeing a lot of Banshee action this game. Probably going to incorporate a lot of picture-in-picture. If I know these players, they like to do lots of things at once. Both players very skilled at doing drops, Banshee harass, and pushes at the same time. They both have pretty high APM actually. Let's just glance at that. Both hovering around 250 right now, with SeleCT averaging around 250 while TLO is at around 170. But SeleCT does have cloak about halfway finished now. His first Banshee is started. TLO, did you cancel that Banshee, sir? I'm going to look at the units tab and make sure. Yes, he did actually cancel the Banshee, and instead getting a Raven out quite quickly. He must have dropped the scan. He could probably infer that Cloak would be coming from this setup, so he is going to get a Raven out first instead of that Banshee that he initially was going to, because he is slightly behind on his research timing anyway. So now a medevac is going to come out instead, doing a little bit of a switch. Not the end of the world. Siege tech being researched right now, and tanks starting to come out single file from this tech lab factory. Lots of Marines already out, continuing to be created one at a time. TLO obviously is working off of 2 gas now, as is SeleCT. SeleCT actually walling off his entire mineral line here with supply depots. I like this setup, actually. You normally don't see this, but basically this denies any Hellions or Reapers from coming in the back or in the front. And really there's not a whole lot of negative to this, as you can just drop a supply depot whenever you're wanting to get an SCV out of there to build something. But TLO has arrived here at SeleCT's front with several Hellions, tanks, and Marines, and a Raven dropping an auto turret there at the ramp. TLO actually has a lot of units here, and SeleCT is left with just a single Hellion and a Marine. He's pulling a ton of SCVs off the line here. He's got 2 Marines popping out in pretty good timing. The siege tank is going to get some blasts off on that Hellion. TLO really needs to micro here to be able to kill as many of these SCVs as he can and gain a very early advantage. I see SCVs dropping like flies. TLO not going to be able to continue microing these away. A Banshee pops out for SeleCT, and obviously there's no anti-air left, so SeleCT does clean it up. TLO shows up with a tank and a Marine now, but SeleCT only has a couple of Marines here to defend against it. This medevac could actually keep this Marine up, but not against a Banshee as well. So TLO does load up that tank and the Marine. Banshee kills off the Marine, and now is going to be able to kill off the tank as well. TLO focusing elsewhere, may even lose his medevac here to a few Marines, but it looks like he is going to manage to escape. And obviously TLO was distracted there by that Banshee that was in his base, and SeleCT is going to send another Banshee now to try and score some kills. We'll see if he's able to achieve any. He's got 4 kills on this one that helped defend that base, and he does have Cloak researched like we saw earlier, so he could actually score a few worker kills if TLO doesn't have any detection in the area. He does have enough, or does not have enough for a scan, but there is a Raven nearby with a Viking, so this Banshee does pick up 2 SCV kills quite quickly, but now the Raven-Viking combo has caught up to him, and it looks like he is going to lose this Banshee after only a couple of SCV kills. But the Banshee getting 6 kills total, not bad at all. This auto turret that was left by that Raven eons ago, just now being killed off by SeleCT, and TLO is going to back off the front and actually lose a Marine that is going to see this force approaching his natural. TLO did expand during that exchange in SeleCT's base. He does have his orbital command finished now, but SeleCT is about to arrive here with a lot of Marines and a Banshee. This Banshee not going to survive for long, though, against these couple of Vikings and Raven combo. SeleCT trying to focus down the Raven, not quite going to manage it, though, and he thinks the better of it and goes ahead and retreats back to the Xel'Naga Tower. Still got his Banshee cloaked over here, though. Is he going to try and get some SCV kills once again? Looks like he is headed for the mineral line. He's going to run out of that cloaking energy here soon, though. And will he get any kills? I don't see a turret built yet. There is one building now, but SeleCT with a good eye pops off that SCV that's building at first, kills off a second SCV, becoming a corporal, but now he's out of energy and almost out of health. He is going to back off for the time being. Is TLO going to respond to that? It looks like some Vikings are on the way, yes, so I don't imagine this Banshee will survive for much longer. Nothing else really going on the map, so we'll see if TLO does manage to spot this, and yes he does, so bye-bye Banshee. SeleCT does have another SCV already in range, though, of the natural mineral line with a lot of energy. This Raven is here to go ahead and scare it away, but it did score 2 SCV kills. Let's look at the income tab just to get a quick comparison. TLO with 2 bases and 32 harvesters has a significant advantage on minerals, and SeleCT is just now expanding here at his natural, and he's only got 24 harvesters. Banshee returning home. TLO did chase him all the way down with these 2 Vikings and Raven. Let's pull up the production tab again just so we don't miss anything. SeleCT now getting siege tech researched. A Thor coming out for TLO, though, and if I remember correctly, TLO does have the collector's edition Thors, which I always love to see, so I can't wait to see those guys pop out and try to do some damage. Oh, there's one already. Check out this sweet Gundam Thor with his awesome wings and stuff. Whenever I play team games, I like to play as Terran because I do have the collector's edition, and I like to mass Thors from time to time. But in this game, both players have sort of backed off each other for the time being. Banshees have kind of lost their pizzazz now that TLO has a Raven and has shown it several times, and Actually, TLO hasn't done any real harassment with a Banshee. He is going to try and do a drop here, though, in a second, while he continues to push through the middle by the Xel'Naga Tower. Select also moving with a Banshee now. Might have to work in some picture-in-picture here in a second. Select going to pick off a Viking quite quickly. Point defense drone doing some damage there. And here we go, small engagement going on. The couple of Thors and Marines are going to ward this army of Select back a little bit. TLO also doing that drop there in the main. He's going to continue on into the natural with these 2 Thors and Marine. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to kill this off. Tank also arriving for TLO, and Select tried to do some damage there with that Banshee of his own. All kinds of stuff going on now. TLO still does not have anything stopping his 2 Thors and Siege Tank from blasting away. He did prevent Select from getting any SCVs out onto that natural, and now Select is finally able to respond to these Thors. He's trying to stem up and gun everything down. Actually, he doesn't even have stem, so that was a mistake, actually. TLO going to lose all of his ground forces here to these many bio units and these couple of Vikings. Pull up the production tab once again. It looks like everything is sort of settled down. Single Hellion coming in for Select to try and do some damage to these SCVs that are lying in wait, but this single Thor should be able to destroy it in just a moment, maybe. Select now showing up with a lot of Marines, Marauders, and Vikings as well, though. Could be in trouble here for TLO. He does only have a Thor and a Marauder and a Marine. Not a whole lot to defend against this, but obviously he does have all these SCVs here to help repair. Is this Thor going to manage to get any kills? It looks like he got up to 4 before going down. This bunker is now TLO's pretty much only hope. He needs to keep these units alive, and he might actually lose this orbital command as well. Banshee coming in now to try and do some damage. Of course, there are still several Marines on the ground able to shoot away, and these Vikings jump right back up into the air, kill off that Banshee, but TLO did actually kill off all the rest of the ground forces of Select. So Select left with only 3 Vikings, TLO left with only a couple of infantry units here, and Select is going to land his Vikings, does score 1 SCV kill before hopping back in the air and heading on home. So lots and lots of back and forth action here. These Terran players do not have a typical TVT style where they just crawl across the map with Siege Tanks and Vikings. Instead, you see a lot of back and forth. You see Banshee harass, drops going on, TLO scoring a nice Viking kill there against Select. They're just constantly in each other's faces, not trying to go for real map control, just trying to do big amounts of damage in and out, in and out. So TLO trying to sneak up the side here. I'll go ahead and take Select's view. He does see these units coming and responds with a nice stim. He is going to be able to kill that off pretty quickly. I don't even think any SCVs died there, so TLO just sacking a few units to try and keep Select on the back foot. No upgrades yet for Select. If you look up here in the production tab, none are even on the way. He does have Stim Pack, obviously, but I meant +1 armor or weapons. And TLO, on the other hand, does also have 0/0. He is getting vehicle weapons level 1 and infantry weapons level 1 right now, though, so if this game goes on too much longer, TLO will have a big advantage in that regard. We've got 44 harvesters now for TLO as he sends his Banshee onto Select's base, only 29 for Select, so TLO doing a good job preventing Select from catching up in that worker count so far this game. He does have Cloak of his own now and is going to head in here, try and score some SCV kills most likely. There is a turret right there in the mineral line of the natural, though. Select should be able to see this Banshee. Yes, he does, so probably going to be able to kill it off. Well, maybe not now. As long as TLO stays out of range of this turret, he is going to get a lot of damage done. And this Banshee has 5 kills before these 2 Vikings come try to kill it. And now the Banshee actually manages to escape. Not sure if anything else is going on over here, but the Banshee escaping with 5 kills and 8 health. Good move for TLO. Nice little swing in momentum there, and if still have the harvester count up. We see it's 50 against 31 right now. Back to the production tab, you see just all kinds of production going right now for TLO. Select adding on some production structures, 2 barracks and a factory, and you keep hearing this noise over here. It's just a single Marauder trying to kill this destructible debris, so TLO can possibly take this as a 3rd base here soon. Select also needs to think about getting started towards a 3rd base as his main is mined out. Let's look at the income tab just a second and see that TLO is about double the mineral income right now and about the same gas, but TLO moving in once again here with a lot of Marines, Banshee, Thor, Siege Tanks. Select stimming up, trying to kill off these mech units as fast as he can before backing off a little bit. I'm going to just highlight the Thor here and see how many kills it actually manages to get. 3 kills so far, 4 kills, and it is going to end at 4 kills before it explodes in grandiose fashion. So Select still managing to hang in there, but TLO sitting at 75 supply for his army, Select only at 58, and this destructible debris should be going down any time now. SeleCT keeps flying in with his Viking, nearly loses it there to that single turret, but does manage to live for now. SeleCT is going to start scouting all these other possible bases here on the right side of the map to make sure TLO hasn't expanded beyond his knowledge. He did see these refineries going up, I believe, when he was over there with that Viking, so should expect this command center to be dropped soon. Back to the production tab, we've got Raven, Siege Tank, Marauder, and that command center just got dropped there at the third, so TLO taking some initiative there. SeleCT is trying to break down some destructible debris of his own to eventually get a gold base going. TLO comes up and pops that SCV, does not like him hanging out in the middle there. SeleCT does have a couple of Vikings now just flying around, and both players are actually just rebuilding right now, trying to mass up armies once again. It's been pretty non-stop action so far in this TVT. Thor, tank, and a couple of Marines coming out now for TLO. Both mech and infantry sitting at 1-0 upgrades. TLO also breaking down his gold destructible debris, while SeleCT is moving across the middle of the map. He's still sitting at 0-0 upgrades for his infantry 22 minutes into this game, and I don't believe he has any mech upgrades either. No, he does not. So TLO taking the economic advantage, 54 harvesters to 41. His army advantage, 104 to 85, and the upgrade advantage, he's got 1-0 for all of his fighting units here, and SeleCT has none of that. So SeleCT is trying to snag this gold base quickly before the game gets too far out of control, but this push looks really, really sinister coming from TLO now. Both players stimming up, trying to smash into each other here. TLO has the superior tank count though, and now SeleCT down to 0 tanks, only a couple of medevacs, Vikings, and a Marauder left in the sky there. TLO has a lot of units here fighting for him, and a Thor shows up once again. I love seeing these Thors just march into battle. It looks like they're like commander units, even if they have no kills. It's just kind of menacing to see this. So scan goes down. TLO continues to press forward, tries to take out this bunker very quickly. SeleCT pulling a lot of SCVs to try and repair that bunker up, but I don't see it surviving. Yeah, and now it's just SCVs and a single siege tank basically for SeleCT against this large infantry and mech force here. Lots of SCVs trying to attack the Thor. He actually manages to escape with 5 health, and SeleCT GG's. So TLO is going to take this game 1 in this best of 3 series for the semifinals of the PokerIdol.com tournament. That was a really, really fun TVT to watch. Usually it's just a lot of Vikings landing and lifting and fighting each other and tanks blasting away at each other, sort of like Xel'Naga Caverns, but now we'll go into game 2 and see what happens there.